So welcome, I'm so glad that you're all here. I'm very excited, not only for the high holidays, but also that I get to be here with all of you. This is my first time leading Rosh Hashanah services, high holiday services in general. So, I don't know what you signed up for. Was there a waiver?
2 or 3.
2 or 3, okay, great. I'm just kidding. I hope that we can have a really warm, beautiful time together as we welcome in the high holidays, and we're gonna get started. So we're gonna start on page number 5, so I'm gonna ask our first reader to come on up. Reader number 1. Do I have reader number 1? I do. Never mind, I guess it's me. So we're gonna turn to page 5. At the bottom of the page, starting with, "Oh God. Oh God, create for me a pure heart and renew within me a just spirit." With the new year, we have a chance for newness within our hearts, a newness that can change the course of our lives. But change is often frightening, and sometimes we are not sure that we are indeed ready for it. What will this new heart be like, we wonder? How will this purified heart change the persons we are? Will the very structure of our lives change as our spirits are renewed? So much uncertainty comes with change. As we stand at the threshold of a new year, we pray for the valor to face uncertainty, the courage to truly change what needs to be changed, and the faith to welcome the new spirit that is within us. As we welcome in the new year, before we light candles, we're going to turn to page 23. I'm going to have reader number 2. Come on. Do you want to read from your seat, or do you want to come up here? Does this work?
It should.
Does it?
Does it?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Of course it doesn't. That's okay. I'm going to come to you then.
Oh, okay. It's 23.
20, there we go, 23.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys, you're
No, you're
okay.
fine.
This night, real close, okay, up against the mask. This night, as the new year begins, we come together as a community, yet each of us is strangely solitary. Each of us comes here with special hopes and dreams. Each of us bears out our own worries and concerns. Each of us has a story no one else can tell. Each of us brings praise no one else can offer. Each of us feels joy no one else can share. I can actually say that's true. Each of us has regrets that others cannot know. And so at this sacred time, we pray. If we are weary, may we find strength. If we are discouraged, may we find hope. If we have forgotten how to share, may we teach each other and learn together. If we have been careless with one another, may we seek forgiveness. If our hearts have been chilled by indifference, may we be warmed by renewed purpose, inspired by the Spirit of all we may. No, I think forgiveness.
What? You want to keep the mic? Is that what we're doing? All right. We're going to light the candles together. Before we do, or after we light the candles, I'm going to invite you to take a second and just breathe it in for a moment. So go ahead and close your eyes, and then I'll light the candles. And as you're closing your eyes, just take a moment to think about the last year, what you're looking forward to in this new year, what this new year can symbolize in terms of a new start. So everybody go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep breathing while I light the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
shanu b'mitzvotav, etzivanu lehavikner shel yom tov. We're going to continue with the Shehechianu, which is at the bottom of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh. Hopefully I can get a new voice before we say the Shehechianu for that too. All right, we're going to continue with Esa Enai on page 44. So Esa Enai is actually one of those psalms that shows up all the time. We say it in so many different services, in so many different moments. And it's a really, really beautiful sentiment. Shir Hamalot were songs that pilgrims would sing on their pilgrimages to Jerusalem as they went up, as they literally went up the hill to Jerusalem. And so a song for the ascents, I lift my eyes to the hills, from where does my help come? As the Spirit moves you, we have some instruments in the corner over there, I believe, in the blue stripes. So if the Spirit moves you to grab some instruments, please feel free. You can also clap. I in fact encourage clapping. I think clapping is wonderful. We are going to turn to page 48, and I am the second reading, or second line of reading, I guess you would call it. Kol ha'olam kulo. So this is a song, this is a teaching that's attributed to Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, who was a pretty interesting person, very mystical, lots of things going on with Rabbi Nachman, and he said a lot of really interesting things. And so this song, this saying, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzar me'od, all of the world is a very narrow bridge. Ve'ha'ikar lo lefahet klal, which means, and the point or the essence or the main thing is not to fear at all. And I took a lot of time trying to figure out, well, what song are we going to sing? And it took me a really long time to figure out why this was in here at all. So before we sing it, I would love to know, just right off the bat, does anything strike you? Like, why do you think this is here? Why are we talking about this bridge at Rosh Hashanah?
We're going to go the same trip again.
Say that again.
We're about to take the same trip again.
We're about to take the same trip again. Interesting. So it's like a circular bridge?
With many bridges.
Many bridges. Okay, I love it.
Prepare the bridges that you walk with people.
Can you say it one more time?
Prepare the bridges that you walk with.
Repair the bridges that you have broken with other people. Okay, amazing. Anything else? Yeah.
It comes to mind to be fearless as you're thinking about what you want in the new year.
Fear. Okay, I love it. Amazing. Great. Those are all wonderful. So many bridges. Repairing these bridges that we've broken or that we've broken with other people. Not to be fearless as we go into this new year. Yeah. What's interesting, and I think I came to closer to this one. I love the other two though. I'm going to steal all of them. By the way, I'll trademark you, but I'm stealing them. Was this idea that it's not a choice to not walk across the bridge, right? And you're going to slip. You're going to fall, right? Because it's narrow. But you just got to do it, and you need to not get caught up in the, oh, I slipped, I'm gonna look. It's okay, we can keep going. So I'll say it. Do we know this tune? Have we heard it before? Kol haolam kulo, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Kol haolam kulo, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Ve'ha'ikar, lo lefached lav. Ve'ha'ikar, lo lefached lav. Kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. We're going to continue on page 58 with the Haskalah. So we'll write to the Haskalah on 58. That's your people. Yikada, Shamera Bana Madira Husegam Gitmakute, Betayefon, Yomefon, Ukayede Kopit Israel, Dagala Ismakari, Bemru, Amen. Yehesh Rabba Bevak Elam Maya, Fakula Behamaya, Yiparak, Ishtabak, Yiparit Ramamit Naser, Yitadar, Yitalek, Yitalel, Shevidu Turesha, Berihu, Leila, Bikol Bekata, Bashirata, Tushtakat, Vedekamata, Amirum Be'alma, Leimru, Amen. And you can stay rising as we sing the Barku, which is on the top of page 62. Barku, etadonai amevorach, Baruch atah Adonai amevorach, le'olam va'ed, Baruch le'olam va'ed. You can take a seat. And I'm going to invite reader number 3. Reader number 3. Is anybody feeling brave? Gesher tzar me'od. Halam kulo. All right. Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Hello. How are you? It's nice to see you. So I'm going to read the first paragraph, and then I'm going to have you read on page 65 the English. Okay? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv arvim b'chokma b'tbuna b'shana iti. ושמדרך את הכוכבים ומשמרתיהם דרכי הפרסומים, ויום בלילה אור משנה חושך וחושך מפני אור. You turn to page 65.
For you illuminate the lamps of the eternal. You, my God, shine brightly on my darkness. The lamp of the Creator is the breath of human life. It searches all the recesses within. For you have saved my soul from death, truly my foot from stumbling, that I may walk about amid God's presence in the light of life. Yes, all of these things that God can do for someone, even 2 times, even 3, to bring one's spirit back from the lowest depths into light, the light of life. You may make day pass away and bring on night, dividing between day and night. The leader of the throngs of heaven is your name, living and enduring God, rule over us now and always. Blessed are you, Almighty One, who makes the evening fall.
We're going to turn. Oh, it's done. Wait, is that the problem?
No, this is good now.
Oh, it's good now, okay. Is it on?
No, I turned it back on.
You turned it off, okay. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Interesting. The technical difficulties. I know, I'm so glad to be here with all of you tonight. We're about to turn to a prayer about love. We're about to turn to about love. And I don't know about you. I'm going to name this for myself, and maybe you're feeling the same way too. It's still strange to be in person. It still sometimes feels strange to be in person. I feel like I got to a point where I had sort of figured out the online stuff, especially the technical stuff. And now we're back in person with all the mistakes, not mistakes, but all of the things that we can't control and all of the, and it's really interesting. It makes you feel really vulnerable. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. So yeah, I wanted to just put that out there. So we are going to, I'm going to invite our 4th reader up. So we're going to sing the first paragraph on page 72, and then our readers are going to read on page 73. And I think this is the one, I believe this is the one I was told you all to, so let's try it. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, Amechah Torah mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu lemadatam al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shofteinu u'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'meritzottecha le'olam va'ed ki hem hayinu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem negei yomam ve'layla yomam ve'layla.
The eternal is my light, help whom? The eternal is my light and help, whom then should I fear? Bless, O my soul, the bountiful. Eternal One, my God, my magnificent are you. In glory and in splendor you are clothed. You spread light out like a garment, stretching out the heavens like exquisite drapery. Your word, a lamp before my feet, your light establishing my path. The teachings of the fount of wisdom are just. They make the heart rejoice. The mitzvah of the lawgiver is pure. It gives light to the eyes. For truly, mitzvah is a lamp and Torah light.
Baruch atah Adonai Amo Yisrael. Blessed is the one who loves the people of Israel. So I picked this today because I think what's really fascinating is that we're doing an evening service. And there's so much about light in the evening service, which is really strange. You would think that it would be more about darkness. But we're constantly talking about this light that we carry with us, right? And so I think that the holidays are really about, I feel like I sort of wrote the same thing twice. Sorry, Liz. I wrote the same thing twice in Haskalah, but I was talking about this idea that Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, like these are big, meaty holidays, right? And a lot of people, especially if you're not going to Shabbat, it's a lot. It's a lot if you do go to Shabbat. And so people kind of get that like, oof, I ate too much, right? I went through the buffet line a couple too many times, right? It's very that vibe. And so really the holidays are about, it's not about eating it all now, it's about having enough for the journey. And so the nice thing about light is, I mean, I guess you can't have too much light. If you've ever looked into a flashlight, don't ask me how I know, but it can get rough. Right, this idea of this light and carrying it with us. So we are going to turn to page 75 for Shema and Be'ahavta. So I'm going to chant Shema, and then we're going to, I'm going to chant Shema, and then we will do Be'ahavta together on page 76. And then I'll meet you again at the bottom of 80 for poem. And do I have a reader for page 80? Amazing, great. Do you want to hang out with me up here? Great. And Shema at High Holidays is in minor, which I love. So tomorrow we won't do it in minor. Tomorrow we'll do it in major, but tonight we're going full nusach for this. So. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Ve'ata et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al bavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam בשבתך בביתך ובביתך עד ערב ושוכבך וקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We turn to the bottom of page 80.
In the handwritten scroll of the Torah, the word Shema of Shema Yisrael ends with an oversized ayin, and the word Echad ends with an oversized dalet. Taken together, these two letters spell Ed, meaning witness. Whenever we recite the Shema, we bear witness to our awareness of God's presence.
And give you a second to continue davening, and then we'll meet up again on 84. 4 lines up from the bottom. Lemon, on page 84. Lemon, tiskeru, ve'asitanen, et kol mitzvotai, ve'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, le'olat lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. We're going to turn to page 88, 87, 88. And once again, we have light. It's very strange. Those dwelling in the land of gloomy shadows find the light of dawn upon them. When plague of darkness fell on Egypt, no one could behold another person, none could go forth from their house, none could go forth for 3 days, but all the Israelites had light wherever they were dwelling. Arise and shine, for truly light has dawned for you. The glory of the Omnipresent shines upon you. House of Jacob, come, let us go forth amid the light of the Eternal One. God is the one who brought the Israelites through a divided sea of reeds. There they beheld divine night. They praised and thanked the name, and willingly accepted for themselves God's rule. We're going to continue with Micha Mocha on page 90. Before we do that, is anybody offering more chances for bravery? It seems like the time. So where are we in Micha Mocha? This is the real question. Where are we? I did say, I promise you, I'm not giving you any questions that the answer's not on the board.
We just crossed, right?
We just crossed, absolutely. Yes, we just crossed what? The street?
Red Sea.
The Red Sea, yeah, Red Sea, okay, great. So we just crossed the Red Sea. We are free people, right? We have escaped Pharaoh and his horsemen, right? We just got chastised also because we were celebrating too much, and God's like, that's not great either. Yeah, it's this really amazing moment, and I think it's sometimes really hard to, it's hard to imagine real, like, bodily slavery in this way. And sometimes I get a little uncomfortable. I don't want to make too much of a connection to it, because I think that that's an experience that it's in our past, but it's not necessarily ours. And so sometimes it's hard to connect to this visceral bodily experience of what it means to go free from something. But before we can make a motion, I do want you to take a second and just think, what is something that you're leaving behind? What did you have to cross to get to this moment? Can you make this moment on the other side of the sea, with Miriam and the women dancing with their timbrels, right? So take a second. I was going to do this in new song, but I don't think that we're going to do it in new song, because I want you all to sing with me. Will you sing with me?
Yes. All
right, great. Oh, pause, no. We gotta have claps. This is a clapping moment. Double clap. We're going for it. One, two, ready, go. Mikamo kama elibadonai, mikamo kane dabakodesh, norate hiloto sefele, norate hiloto sefele. Mavu ונאמר כתב אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Blessed are you, the guardian, Israel's redeeming power. We're going to turn to page 92. I'm sorry, I keep putting the numbers as the Hebrew, not as the English. But this is a moment where we truly think about the evening, right? This is where we move from daytime to evening, and we're really thinking about some of the things that can come up, some of the fears that can come up. So I would love for us to read together on page 91, help us to lie down. Help us to lie down, dear one, our God, in peace, and let us rise again, our sovereign delight. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Decree for us a worthy daily law, and redeem us for the sake of your great name, and enfold us in the wings of your protection. For you are our redeeming guardian. Truly a sovereign, gracious and compassionate God are you. Guard our going forth each day for life and peace. Now and always, spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, compassionate one, who spreads your canopy of peace over all your people Israel and over Jerusalem. And as I know it seems far away, it's really not. Sukkot will be here before we even know it. And so I think it's a really beautiful, Hashkavino is a really nice moment as we move through the high holidays and towards Sukkot. And we're thinking of this. I'm going to turn to page 98 for Tikkun Chodesh Shofar. So today is what day? What's the actual Hebrew date? I got one. Oh, and I got a T. Nice. Yes. 1T, first of Tishrei. Yeah, so that means it's a new moon. Or excuse me, it's well, it is new moon, but we've just left Elul and we're going into Tishrei, and so usually on Rosh Hashanah we would do the shofar blast, but this is a little bit different. Tishrei doesn't actually have Rosh Chodesh because we have Rosh Hashanah. So we're like, well, do we really need a Rosh Chodesh if we have Rosh Hashanah? But we still do this Tikkun Chodesh. So blast piercing notes upon the shofar for the new moon, for the full moon, and for our festive holiday, for it is Israel's law, a statue of the God of Jacob. Tikkun b'shofar, b'kesel yom hagigu, ki chol Yisraelu, mishpat le'olahei Yaakov, mishpat le'olahei Yaakov. It's going to be very exciting tomorrow when we actually do the shofar blast. I'm very excited. Do we have any shofar blowers who will be here tomorrow? Give me the heads up now. Wonderful, lovely. We're going to continue on page 100. Instead of doing Hatzi Kaddish, I thought we would do a poem instead, because Hatzi Kaddish, needs to be reconstructed sometimes. Do I have somebody for reading number 6?
You do not have to leave the room. Remain standing in your place and listen. Do not even listen. Simply wait. Do not even wait. Be quiet, still, and solitary. The world will freely offer itself to you. To be unmasked, it has no choice. It will roll in ecstasy at your feet.
Thank you. Are you gonna take it with you? Thank you.
We keep passing it.
So we are going to continue with the we're good.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think, I
we're going to
think.
continue with the Amidah, which is on page 104, and from our read, Amidah is silent. And I know lots of people who they don't really know what to do during the Amidah because it's not their thing. That's totally okay. We do have English meditations on 125 through 130. We're currently on page 103. So if you prefer to do a meditation or look at, read something different or read under the line, I invite you to do that. We're going to say the Amidah and then we're going to meet up back again on page 126. Great, amazing. So we can rise as you're able in body or in spirit for the Amidah on page 104. Adonai tzavati chachufi v'tahiratecha. Shalom, shalom,
Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimu Amen. Oseh Shalom Shalom Yoma U'yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Yisrael Ve'yimu Amen.
I think I have too many papers up here, Liz. I think that's what I've established. All right. I consider the small brownish fly perched on my mirror, its red eyes, its great paper wings, the way it lifts its hands. Can you say hands? Rubbing them together like a person trying to warm themselves. Perhaps because I stare too long, it begins to bounce. Frantic circles against the glass. Unsatisfied, it flits from the wall to the ceiling, out the door, and back again in a matter of seconds. As I follow it while I brush my teeth, I think that death, taxes, and this, yes, this moment with the fly, are the stuff that human experience is made of. As a child, my grandfather taught me that flies, mayflies and fruit flies especially, only lived for one day. I marveled at this. How? How is it possible that in a single day one could be born and die? In one day, dodging plastic and swatting hands, how could you live to the fullest? How could you get married, have children, build a home, read a newspaper at such an unforgiving pace? Remember, I was 6. A fly wedding was a possible thing. It was only years later, watching some science program on YouTube or Discovery Channel, that I realized my grandfather had lied. Or rather, that he had given me an old wives' tale, something his mother taught him. And in doing so, he taught me the value of a story. While I'm certainly team science when it comes to the practicalities of life, a story is where you grow. As Maria Wukaiser puts it in her book, The Speed of Darkness, the earth is made of stories, not atoms. I read this quote, I read this quote recently, and I laughed at the unintentional wordplay that jumped out. Taking a leaf from the Rabbi's playbook, I thought, yes, Adam, the first person, the earthling. If we leaned into this unknowing homophone, what did it mean to have a world of stories, not atoms? It isn't easy to imagine. In fact, I have a bone to pick with the rabbis. I know I may be setting myself up for disaster as we enter a time of repentance, saying we're sorry and striving to be a better person, but I have 10 days to worry about that. So I have a bone to pick with the rabbis. On this day, the first of Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, Yom HaZikaron, Yom Teruah, we declare it is the birth of the universe. But it isn't true, not even from a narrative perspective. The world was already in motion on the first of Tishrei. Of course, this makes it seem like the rabbis agreed with themselves on the nitty-gritty of creation. As you might guess, they did not. The Talmud records a number of disagreements and opinions about what exactly all went down. Okay. Was it in spring in the month of Nisan, as Rav Yeshua argues? Was it during Tishrei, as Rabbi Eliezer suggests? Is it both, as Rabbeinu Tam would have us believe? All have their points, their pros and cons, and yet it is difficult for me to shake the Mother Goose simplicity of God's one very productive week. But as I said, to suggest that today, the first of Tishrei, is the day of creation begs the question, what constitutes creation here? A Midrash explains that Rabbi Eliezer, the one who roots for a Tishrei start date, actually meant that the creation itself started on the 25th of Elul, which just happened. Rosh Hashanah is not then the birthday of the world because the world had been made 5 days earlier. Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of humanity. I can't imagine that anyone is too surprised that human rabbis would make humanity the ultimate litmus test for creation. Again and again, power inflects or perhaps inflicts itself on the world and other people, declaring before and after that lifts the most powerful up as markers and makers. But it doesn't have to be this way. In fact, reading the story of Adam's creation according to the rabbis is eerily close to how I imagined the life cycle of a fly when I was 6 years old. And I think that holds important information as we enter this holiday marathon. Rabbi Yochanan Bar Hanina says, daytime is 12 hours long. In the day, Adam, the first person, was created. In the first hour, his dust was gathered. In the second, his figure was fashioned. In the third, limbs were extended. In the fourth, his soul was cast into him. In the fifth hour, he stood on his legs. In the sixth, he called the creatures by their names. In the seventh, Eve was paired with him. In the eighth, they went to bed as two and descended as four. In the ninth, he was commanded not to eat the tree. In the 10th, he sinned. In the 11th, he was judged. And in the 12th, he was expelled from the garden. As it's stated in Psalms, but man abides not in honor. Which means Adam didn't even sleep one night in the Garden of Eden. On the one hand, the rabbis may be trying to solve a literary logistical question through a midrash. If humans are created in one day, how can we get all that packed in? Homiletically, however, it paints a very contracted picture of our will to do wrong, the ease of it. Within hours of being made, of being commanded not to eat of the tree, the first people fail, are judged and punished. In the season of repentance and the possibility of tshuva, turning, it seems out of step with our tradition. The God in our machzor and our siddur may have become more merciful and realized that maybe we need more than that 1 hour training. But one thing rings true then and now. Speed is rarely our friend. From speaking before our minds have had time to process, to making split decisions, to rushing through what we have to do, too often we treat our lives as though they were that of the first earthling or of a fly. While dragging your heels can be just as bad, I want to encourage you to take your time this season. Be here, really here, totally present. Feel timeless, feel suspended, for you're Lord of the flies. All right. I think it's time for Kiddush. How are we doing on time? Great, okay, amazing. I don't know. Working for camps has given me a very regimented understanding of what we're supposed to be doing.
This is snack time.
I found it. We're going to turn to Kiddush, which is on 1197. Big jump. Sabrei Kavarai. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher keranu le'avodato v'romamanu b'kedushato v'kedshanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava et yom ha'zikaron hazeh yom teruah mikra kodesh zecher v'tziat mitzrayim ki aleinu karata v'otanu kidashta le'avodotecha u'tvarech emet hakayam la'ad baruch ata Adonai melech al kol ha'aretz mekadesh Yisrael be'yom ha'zikaron l'chaim. Thank you. We are going to go to Aleinu, which we're actually going to start with a reading. Reader number 7.
Sit here for a second.
That's right, I wanted to make sure that we got Liz up here. Hello. So we're going to turn to page 1207 for the reading, and then we'll turn to 1201 together.
It is up to us to hallow creation, to respond to life with the fullness of our lives. It is up to us to meet the world, to embrace the whole, even as we wrestle with its parts. It is up to us to repair the world and to bind our lives to truth. Therefore, we bend the knee and shake off the stiffness that keeps us from the subtle graces of life. and the subtle gestures of love. With reverence and thanksgiving, we accept our destiny and set for ourselves the task of redemption.
Turn to page 1201 and rise as you're able in body or in spirit. Aleinu לשבח אדון הכל, לתת תפילה נרצה בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם לך בתוכנו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שיש השמיים. Three lines from the bottom, Kakatu Bitoratecha, Adonai Yimok, Ve'olam Va'ed, V'nei Ayamar, Ve'hayadai, Ve'melech Kol Haaretz, Vayom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo, you can take a seat. So, did you? Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do announcements.
Tomorrow morning, we begin at 10 a.m.
Tomorrow morning.
That's the big announcement.
Tomorrow morning we begin at 10 a.m. I love that.
1 o'clock will be Toshli at the Cedar Beach Park. I will have little maps set out front. On the email, it says the name of the road will be on. We're not in the Rose Garden, but we're in the Rose Garden Pavilion. So come join us for a potluck picnic and a little service for Toshli by the water. And then we have Steve Nathan on Rosh Hashanah Day 2. That's it.
Wow. Thanks, Liz. I want to say thank you to Liz, to Rachel, to Jane, to Joy, everybody for all the support that you've given me so far. It's only the beginning of the year. I keep trying to tell people it's a terrible time to start a contract. It truly is, right? You're like, why don't we start with the biggest part of the year instead of leading up to it?
Here's the deep end.
Here's the deep end, yeah. It's a very funny thing, but this is a really beautiful community, and I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited for the year ahead. So I guess I'm lucky that my Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is feeling a little bit lighter, because I'm actually I have something really exciting to look forward to being here. So we have a few more pieces to do liturgically, and then we'll say Shana Tova, and you'll be off to your delicious meals. So we're going to turn to 12:16. Even in this celebration of joy, we also remember those who have passed, either recently or at this time in years past, as we turn to 12:16 for mourners and Kaddish. Do we have
I have a list.
Okay.
I can read it out. The art sites that come on this week are Jerome Dorfman, father of Risa and Nancy Dorfman, Wendy Greenberg, a member of Haskalah, Chrisia Sipa Drozdowicz, mother-in-law of Mary Lou Starf, Edith Gerber Shanker, grandmother of Adrian Shanker, Ida Malik, grandmother of Helen and Lynn Malik. As a community, we are in the first year of mourning for our members, Norma Cohen and Bill Ernest. We especially comfort our members who in their first year of mourning, Jody Rosenblum, Tamar Ernest, Maddie Langman, and Dave Smith.
Thank you. Does anybody from the chat either want to add or?
Feel free to add, yeah. Feel free to type in.
Anybody here have any that they would like to add? Well, whether we say them out loud or we keep them in our hearts, we lift them up all the same. For Kaddish on page 12:16, you can feel to stay seated or rise as is your custom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabba. V'aman v'rach yirteh v'mich malchuteh. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael. V'hagala v'zman karim v'emru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba v'barach le'olam v'amen. Yitbarach v'yishtamach v'yitlamar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei v'kusham v'rechu. Le'ela, le'ela, mikol brachata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechmata, da'ni ran be'alma be'meru, amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemayim, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael be'meru, amen. Osei shalom b'mama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshei Tevel be'meru, amen.
Amen.
The Hanami Braham, may their lives and their memories be a blessing to us. We are going to turn to page 1218, Achal Sha'alti, which is, this psalm is the psalm that we, Psalm 27 is the psalm that we sing all during Elul, and particularly this refrain, which if you need to see it, the transliteration is right on the bottom on page 1218. And the one thing I ask from God, one thing I'm looking for, to sit in your presence, in your palace, or in your house, all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of God.
Achat sha'ati me'et Adonai utabakesh. Achat sha'ati me'et Adonai utabakesh. Shivti be'beit Adonai Kol yamei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, ulevachar beit Adonai. Lachazot b'noam Adonai, ulevachar beit Adonai.
When you finish with the Donor 1 on page 1224, this is, I've been told that this is a community that likes to choose its melody. So I did not put this in here. I'm going off script. I know. If you saw how many pieces of paper I have with information, that would make a lot more sense. But is anybody feeling brave? It's another opportunity. A Donor Do we have a favorite Adon melody? And if I don't know it, I will ask you to come over here and sing it.
Okay.
Everybody's like, okay, what's one thing everybody knows?
Which one are you thinking?
Kol Yatir Nivra.
Adon olam v'ter malach v'terem rois yemina ve'nasa v'chasoko azayin elech shemon yifra ve'amacharek yivotako le'adon yimlok nora le'hu haya le'hu oleh le'hu yeh v'tifara Shir lo lehakvara, be'vireshim be'vitakvi, be'lo ha'oz be'ha'nisa, be'hulevi, be'chayrovi, be'tzur hevi, be'tzara, be'gunisi umanos Osvi, Menachoti, Beyom Mekra, Beyado, Kibruchi, Netishan, Be'aira, Be'ibruchi, Gabiati, Adonai, Velo, Ira.
I've done that one a long time, thanks. That was really nice. Shana Tova, everybody, if you haven't had a chance, make sure you find somebody in the room you've never met before to say Shana Tova, Mekka, a good and sweet New Year to you all. We'll be back here at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I almost forgot, thank goodness, snacks. So we'll go over there and we'll say blessings over apples and honey, right? Amazing. So I'll meet you over there, and when you do, say Shana Tova, Mekka to somebody. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 10 back here tomorrow.
Find someone? Yeah, I'm new. Hi. Good. Susan.
Shana Tova, everybody.
Oh, yes.